Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, February 24th. Coming to you live from Seoul, I'm Kim Mo-kyun. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. COVID-19 vaccines developed by AstraZeneca will be sent over to a distribution center in Icheon, Gyeonggi-do province today, in the very first step before vaccinations start on Friday. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says that the Fed plans to keep its benchmark interest rates near zero until the U.S. reaches their economic goals. And golf superstar Tiger Woods has been seriously injured in a car accident and is in hospital where he's undergoing surgery. Our top story today, COVID-19 vaccines developed by AstraZeneca will be sent over to a distribution center in Icheon, Gyeonggi-do province today in the very first step before vaccinations start on Friday. Currently, preparations to send the shipments over to the distribution center is underway. Our Lee Seung-jae starts us off.
The first vaccine set to be used in South Korea will be the AstraZeneca vaccine, being manufactured by SK Bioscience at a factory in the southeastern city of Andong. Starting Wednesday, the vaccine will be delivered to a distribution center located in Icheon, Gyeonggi-do province, in the very first step before vaccinations start on Friday. The amount to be delivered will be 1.5 million doses, enough to inoculate 750,000 people, including residents and workers under the age of 65, in nursing hospitals and facilities nationwide. The first batch will be delivered via a delivery truck to the distribution center. It's expected to take roughly 2 hours from Andong to Icheon and will be escorted by the police. Once it arrives, the vaccines will be transported again to public health centers and nursing hospitals nationwide on Thursday. The initial batch is expected to be good for 5 days of inoculations before another batch is transported from the production plant. According to KDCA Chief Chung Eun-kyung, vaccination registration will open on Thursday, where vaccine centers can check for those eligible to receive the vaccine, as well as input vaccination records after each jab. Health authorities will also keep track of the vaccination rate and the vaccine supply using a computerized system. Health authorities have also recommended that nursing hospitals where doctors work directly within the facilities administer the vaccines within 5 days after receiving them. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
South Korea reported 440 new cases of COVID-19 on Wednesday, jumping back into the 400s for the first time in 3 days. Of the new cases, 417 were locally transmitted and 23 were from overseas. There were 3 more deaths, bringing the death toll to 1,576. The total number of cases in the nation has now surpassed the 88,000 mark. As the current social distancing measures are set to end on Sunday, authorities plan to announce readjusted social distancing rules as early as Friday. The first of 3 expert panels in South Korea reviewing a COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech approved the use of the product for anyone 16 years and older. The group cited for over 95% efficacy in all age groups. Our Kim Do-yeon has the story.
South Korea has taken its first step towards approving the Pfizer vaccine for direct import so it can receive the tens of millions of doses it signed deals for. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety cited the first review done by local experts looking at research from other countries.
The evaluation results show 8 people from the vaccine group and 162 people from the control group were confirmed to have COVID-19, representing an effectiveness of about 95%.
The data itself is not new, but the ministry will use it for the next step, which will be analysis by a ministry committee with results due as early as Friday. Approval is not needed for the doses to be used starting this Saturday. Those were already approved for emergency import from the COVAX facility. The findings from overseas also say that Pfizer's vaccine should be safe even for minors as young as 16. The ministry, in addition, has established a new dedicated team of researchers to speed up the analysis of future vaccines. And for the inoculation starting later this week, the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency has released procedural guidelines for vaccination centers. Vaccines are not to be given to pregnant women or minors under 18. Also excluded are people suspected to have COVID-19. This, the guidelines say, is to prevent confusion between COVID-19 symptoms and vaccine side effects and to protect others at the vaccination centers. Doses will, however, be given to women who are breastfeeding because there is no data showing a threat to the health of the baby. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
After a slow start to the vaccination process in the U.S., drug company executives have told Congress that they will ramp up production and delivery. Speaking to the House Energy and Commerce Committee on Tuesday, Pfizer and Moderna officials promised to greatly expand manufacturing capacity. Moderna expects to deliver 100 million doses by the end of March, and Pfizer expects to deliver 13 million doses a week by mid-March, up from 4 to 5 million at the beginning of February. Pfizer also raised its global production target for 2021 from 1.2 billion doses to 2 billion. After jumping off to a quick start with its COVID-19 vaccination campaign, Israel said it will share some of its vaccines with several allied countries. However, the move has raised questions over the intent, with allies planning to relocate embassies and diplomatic offices to Jerusalem. Our Choi Jung-yoon reports.
Can COVID-19 vaccines be used as diplomatic currency? To Israel, the answer could be close to yes, as it announced on Tuesday its decision to share its coronavirus vaccines with several allied countries. Though Israel emphasized that the vaccination must be given to its own population first, it said that there are enough vaccine stocks to transfer a symbolic number of immunizations to countries that have asked Israel for help. Half of its population has already received at least one vaccine dose. According to Israel's public broadcaster Kan, countries like Guatemala, Honduras, the Czech Republic, and Hungary will receive Moderna vaccines. However, the distribution of vaccines is raising some controversy, as these are nations that have all provided strong diplomatic backing to Prime Minister Netanyahu's hardline government in recent years. They have already moved to or are planning to locate their embassies or diplomatic offices in Jerusalem. This is seen as a political gain for Israel, as it seeks international recognition for the city as its capital, while rival Palestinians claim East Jerusalem. The action comes after the World Health Organization condemned some of the countries acquiring excessive vaccine stocks and urged donating them to poorer countries. Choi Jung-yoon, Arirang News.
South Korea's Finance Minister Hong Nam-ki says the upcoming supplementary budget plan will focus on supporting pandemic-hit businesses and boosting employment. That's according to the ministerial meeting held by the Finance Ministry on Wednesday. Though further details are yet to be unveiled, sources from the ruling Democratic Party forecast that this fourth round of relief funds could amount to up to some $18 billion, making it the largest COVID-19 relief budget so far. With this, the maximum payment per person is likely to be more than $5,400, some $900 more than previously expected. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell began 2 days of congressional testimony Tuesday, Washington time. The chairman told Congress that the Fed has no plan to raise interest rates or reduce bond purchases. Our business correspondent, Seo Eun-kyung, reports.
Jerome Powell has told the Senate Banking Committee that the Fed plans to keep its benchmark interest rates near zero until the U.S. reaches their economic goals. He stated that the economy is a long way from their employment and inflation goals, and it's likely to take some time for substantial further progress to be achieved. The Fed has targeted an annual inflation rate of 2%. The figure was 1.4% in January of 2021. He also noted the Fed's plan to continue buying Treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities. It is spending $80 billion on Treasury bonds each month, as well as $40 billion to buy mortgages in order to hold down long-term interest rates. Responding to raising market concerns over inflation, Powell said he doesn't see inflation as a threat, but the Fed has the tools to deal with it if it becomes one.
Inflation dynamics do change over time, but they don't change on a dime. If it does turn out that unwanted inflation pressures arise and they're persistent, then we have the tools to deal with that, and we will.
The Fed chairman's appearance before the Senate Banking Committee is to present the semi-annual monetary policy report. The report provides the background for monetary policy decisions and explains the nation's economic development as well as future prospects. The last time the Fed chair gave his semi-annual monetary policy report was June last year. He's scheduled to stand before the House Financial Services Committee on Wednesday. 서은경, Arirang News.
At a session at the United Nations, Seoul's Vice Foreign Minister has called the so-called comfort women issue to be addressed as a universal human rights issue. He also urged officials to ensure such an atrocity never happens again. Our foreign affairs correspondent Yoon Jung-min reports.
On the international stage, South Korea is calling for Japan's wartime sexual slavery to be addressed as a universal human rights issue and urged for the future prevention of such violence. During a high-level segment at the 46th session of the Human Rights Council on Tuesday, Seoul's second Vice Foreign Minister Choi Jong-mun said the tragedy of the so-called comfort women must be addressed as a universal human rights issue, urging for the prevention of a recurrence. He added it's crucial they do not forget the victims and current and future generations should learn lessons from the painful experience of the past. The minister pledged the South Korean government will continue working to restore dignity and honor of the victims. During the UN's virtual session, the minister said South Korea has profound interest in and concerns over the human rights situation in North Korea. Choi also touched upon the humanitarian situation of people in North Korea suffering amid COVID-19, economic sanctions, and natural disasters. He added the South hopes the North's response to their calls for solving the separated families issue. On the recent political turmoil in Myanmar, he said South Korea fully respects the people of Myanmar's aspiration for democracy and hopes the issue will be resolved peacefully. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
North Korean leaders and elites may not be entirely isolated from the rest of the world as most of us imagined them to be. That's according to an American-based cybersecurity company's in-depth analysis, which found that they are actively engaging in popular social media platforms. Our Kim Hyo-sun reports.
North Korea's political and military elites reportedly have unlimited access to the internet and shop from Amazon and Alibaba. That's according to Recorded Future, a U.S.-based cybersecurity company, which explained that a limited number of the regime's leaders and ruling elites have full access to the internet and are actively engaged in popular social media, including Facebook and Instagram. Speaking with the German media outlet Priscilla Moriucci, one of the company's senior analysts said that this was based on an analysis of North Korea's internet usage in 2017. The analyst also added that it has become more challenging to track the online activities of such North Korean elites as they have developed their own data security technology, as well as a private network which enables a filtering system. During the past 3 years, internet usage within the country has reportedly soared a whopping 300%. In relation to Pyongyang's latest attempt to steal COVID-19 vaccine technology, Moriucci explained that this is indeed something that Recorded Future had expected. She also added that North Korean hackers are starkly different from those of other countries, as their ultimate goal is to fund the Kim Jong-un regime, adding that they also engage in massive illegal mining of cryptocurrency. She also elaborated that the company has learned how the nation is capable of utilizing the internet to secure more funds, adding that it has created a model that can be emulated by other countries with malicious intention. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
Golf legend Tiger Woods has been seriously injured after a car accident and is being treated in an LA hospital. According to reports Tuesday, his SUV rolled over numerous times and ended up on its side in suburban Los Angeles, with images showing the front end heavily damaged. Woods' manager says he suffered multiple leg injuries and he was in surgery. The cause of the crash remains unclear. Woods has been recovering from his 5th back surgery a few months ago. He was in LA over the weekend as a tournament host of the Genesis Invitational.
Good morning. The sprinkles now will ease this afternoon and highs will go above the norms. Temperatures will rise further and will hike to the mid-teens by Friday here in the capital. But there will be big temperature gaps between the lows and highs, so let's dress accordingly. So highs in most regions will hover around 10 degrees this afternoon. Southern parts of the country will see highs that are similar to yesterday. Bright skies with normal air quality are in the forecast for the whole day. Meanwhile, dryness is becoming more severe, and the dry weather advisory remains in place for the east regions, while also expanding to inland regions in the Chungcheongdo province and the capital region as well. So please be careful about potential fires. Dryness in certain parts of the country should ease with rain in the forecast from tomorrow, while much needed nationwide rain will fall next Monday. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
And that's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. We'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Variants of COVID-19 are